Hello, and welcome to another Rangaroo's unit of the week. Today we are taking a look at the F-4S Phantom II napalm bomber for the United States. So the Phantom is a twin-engined, second-generation jet fighter developed during the 60s by the United States Air Force and Navy, because it could also be used on an aircraft carrier. And it was a very multi-purpose plane. It could carry 18,000 pounds worth of weapons, meaning it's made a rather good air interceptor, bomber, and reconnaissance aircraft. Also, another thing to note is that this plane could go over Mach 2 speeds, and it was one of the first ever planes not to have any guns on it whatsoever, or fighter plane, I should really say, because they did rely on using missiles during the early stages of development, because they thought, hey, missiles long range, you need guns anymore. And they were kind of right, because missiles are great at killing stuff at long range, but during the 60s, missile technology wasn't exactly up to snuff, so it would require roughly 2 to 3 missiles, especially in Vietnam, to shoot down enemy fighters. But I really want to spend the day talking about the actual napalm. So, incendiary-based weapons in warfare could really be dated back all the way to the Byzantine Empire with Greek fire. A sticky, flammable substance, it would literally shoot out of the Greek ships to hit other ships and burn them alive. And considering this was back when gunpowder wasn't even invented yet, going up against one of these ships must have been extremely scary. Must have seemed like an actual dragon attacking you. And of course, during the 1900s, incendiary-based weapons would end up getting developed in more wide use, especially white phosphorus. And coming around to World War II, the Allied forces were in quite a bit of a pickle because a lot of their rubber substances that they were using to well-developed incendiary weapons and flamethrowers were running short. So they had to look to a different solution so they can continue making fiery weapons. And America in 1942 managed to come up with synthetic napalm, which was a chemical substance mixed in with gasoline, which turned it to an extremely sticky, flammable weapon. And the Americans would end up first using this in 1944 on Berlin and other targets on the Western Front, but most notably, it was used on the Pacific Theater an awful bloody lot. Because you see, the Japanese were holed up in small islands and vegetated forests, in pillboxes and bunkers and tunnel systems. So having a weapon that could literally burn them out alive and stick to anything was extremely effective. The more vegetation there was, the better it was, because it just burned more area. And they'd end up using this to continue their fire raids on the large Japanese cities, such as Tokyo. Eventually, napalm would be used during the Korean War to some extent, but most notably, we all know napalm was used extensively during Vietnam. So much so, during World War II, Americans dropped 16,500 tons of napalm on Japan. During the Korean War, 32,000 tons of napalm was dropped, but during Vietnam, 388,000 tons of napalm. That is a lot of bloody fire, and it was used to great effect. It was fantastic at knocking out Viet Cong tunnel systems and other areas, but the psychological effects on the country, imagine your entire village just getting burned to a crisp by this fire you can't douse. It will just keep on burning. Must have been very scary. Now, in-game, the F-4S Phantom II is a 120-point United States bomber with 2 weapons available to it. First off, we got the Mark 77 napalm bomb with 8 of his 340kg bombs available to the plane, with a range of ground of 3,500, 10% accuracy, and a rate of fire of 75 rounds a minute. Honestly, these stats don't exactly matter. It's napalm bombs. You drop it, it causes napalm, it burns anything it gets in its way. Rather simple stuff. And secondly, we got the A9L Sidewinder missile with 2 of these missiles available to the plane, with a range of helicopters of 2,100 meters, 3,850 on airplanes, 50% accuracy, 4 HE, and a 2-second reload time. You only got 2 of these missiles, so you ain't exactly going to be shooting down any planes with these, as they only do 4 HE damage, and this is not an interceptor, but for when you need to defend yourself or maybe shoot down a helicopter, this can prove to be quite useful in a pinch. And take a look at its miscellaneous stats. No armor because it is an airplane, a standard 10 HP, 30% ECM, good air detection, a speed of 900 km an hour, a time over target of 165 seconds, year restricted to 79, and there are no type restrictions. It can be brought up in pretty much any type of deck. So in battle, the F-4S Phantom II is rather simple. You know what you're going to use it for, to burn the ever-loving shit out of the enemy. Because you see, with 8 napalm bombs, this bomber creates a literal wall of fire. And wall of fires are rather good for stopping enemy assaults, using it to hit a narrow choke point to, you know, stop a bunch of mechanized units from moving up to your town, or using it in a horizontal ray to completely cut off line of sight for enemy ATGMs or an enemy tank push. Yeah, there's many ways you can effectively use the Phantom II, and it's simple. You buy it, it blows stuff up or burns stuff up. I should really say it's rather survivable with its good speed and 30% ECM, but don't be trying to suicide these planes, as you only get 2 of them per card and only 1 card available to you. But yeah, it's a napalm bomber. It burns everything. It's great against pretty much everything, especially infantry inside of towns. And like the good old saying goes, I do love the smell of napalm in the morning. And well, I'm going to leave it off at that. This has been another Rang Rouge unit of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as usual, please just take it easy.